Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. In this episode I'm going to be showing you how to restore a rusty fuel tank using this stuff. It's degreaser, cleaner, rust remover and an epoxy sealant. I've used this stuff on quite a few motorcycle tanks. It works really well and it's not that expensive. It's way cheaper than getting someone to do it for you. So the weather was quite nice a couple of weeks ago, so I decided to do it outside. Bit of bird song for you. First thing to do is get everything out of the tank, strip everything out of it that you can, and then seal off all the holes. You can leave the filler cap on because it won't be affected by the degreaser or the rust treatment. Obviously you need to drain all the fuel out of the tank, preferably leave it overnight at least, or a couple of days, maybe a week if you can, just to get all the fumes out of it. It's not going to make that much difference because the degreaser will displace it and then you'll rinse it out with water anyway. So these two holes here I'm not worried about because they are breather holes and drain holes, so any rainwater that gets down inside the cap can run away through those holes. I did blow them out with air just to make sure that they were clear. So obviously first step is degreaser. Quick read of the instructions, quick shake up, and then chuck it in the tank. So now it's just close the lid, give it a good shake up, upside down, side to side, back and forth, just get it coating the whole surface to get all the residue of fuel out of the tank. The instructions say to leave this in the tank for several hours, shaking it every 10 to 15 minutes. That way it has a chance to work its magic, get everything out of it, and then we can rinse it out with water. I didn't realise how quickly time was passing here, so I just carried on and got it done. As you can see, it's just a case of chucking a hose pipe in there, fill it up with water, rinse everything out. I did this a couple of times just to make sure I got all the residue out of it. This treatment will work for car tanks as well, you'll just have to buy a bit more material. I think this kit works out to about 54 or 55 quid. You can get it on Amazon or eBay. And it usually does a 20 to 25 litre tank. You can get bigger kits which are slightly more expensive that do larger tanks. If you're doing a fuel tank, say something like a Mini or even a Metro fuel tank, you might have to buy 2 lots of it just to make sure that you've got enough. So that's the first rinse done. I'm going to do another rinse now, and then I'll leave it overnight next to the radiator to dry out. Just giving the outside of the tank a rinse off just to make sure no degreaser's on there. I don't think it would damage the paint, but I'd rather have it off there than leave it on. and you can see how much rust is in this tank. That's only a small portion of it after it's been degreased. So I'm going to give it a good blowout now just to make sure there's no water residue left in there, and then it's on with the rust treatment. That's all powdered rust, and that's what was filling up my carbs, or blocking up my carbs. So I'm just sealing everything off again now, ready for the rust treatment, and the cap can stay on for this process as well. So another good shake up, leave it 20 minutes, half an hour, give it another shake. Do this a few more times through the course of the evening, then drain it all out, wash it out, and get ready to treat it. So again, I gave this 2 rinses just to make sure everything was out, and then blew it all out again, make sure all the water was gone. One thing to note with this treatment, it can damage the paintwork. If your tank is bad enough, it can seep through the rust and it will attack the paint. So just bear in mind, you may have to paint your tank. Obviously for a car tank, it doesn't matter so much because it's never seen. So what I'm doing here is putting some nice long screws in on these blind holes. They're welded nuts on the inside of the tank, and I don't want the epoxy filling them up, because I don't want to have to drill the epoxy out or knock it out and then tap the threads. This is easy to do. It's not that easy to get them back out again, but it's better than having to knock the epoxy through or drill it and then tap them out. I'm now creating a problem that I didn't foresee at the time, but that's a problem for future Shambo. Seal up the tank, get the epoxy ready, and pour it in. So the sealant is a 2-part epoxy. This is the main stuff, and then the can with the red top is the activator. So get this in a pot first, get out as much as I can, waste not, want not. And to mix it, I made this out of a 25mm wood cutter. I chopped the end off, the little spike on the end, filed it down so it was nice and smooth. Now I can put it in a drill and I can spin it up, which is easier than stirring it with a stick. So now that that's thoroughly mixed, I've got to leave it for about 10 or 15 minutes to get all these air bubbles out. And after about 15 minutes, all the air bubbles are pretty much gone. You get this little bit of froth on the top, but that's nothing to worry about. So there's the problem. How am I going to get it in the tank? So I'm going to have to unseal this, pour it in, and then seal it back up again. It's the same process with this as it was with the degreaser and the rust treatment, but you have to move a bit slower because the epoxy is a lot thicker. You've got to turn it slower, move it around all the same sort of angles. Do that for a good 10-15 minutes, maybe a bit longer depending on the size of your tank and how much material you've got in there. Once you've done that, you've got to take off the tape, get that all out of the way, because you've got to then turn the tank back over and let it drain out to get rid of the excess. And then you leave it to cure for about 7 days before you can put fuel in it. I'm just taping up these external threads now because if the epoxy runs out, I don't want to have the same drama with them as I would have had with the internal threads. Giving it a good turn around again and then letting the residue drain out. Dropping it in this tray that I've got here just to catch it all. I can take the top part off now as well, just to let the air get in there and let the tank breathe. So I've left it for a week. Now it's time to put it back together and get it back on the bike. You can see the excess that ran out overnight after I treated it, and you can see how hard it is too. So the whole of the inside of the tank is now coated with that, so it's like an internal shell. So now that those screws are out and the threads are cleaned off, I can clean off the excess that came out, and then I can run over it with some 400 grit sandpaper just to smooth the surface off. This gives me a nice smooth surface for the gaskets to seat against, so they shouldn't leak. Now that that's ready, I can put the fuel sender in and I can get the fuel filter in as well. The fuel filter is also a fuel delivery, which has got a vacuum diaphragm on it. It doesn't actually pump the fuel, it just opens to allow the fuel through to the carbs. Yeah, Trev's back. Because the bike hasn't been run for about 6 months, I'm only going to put about half a gallon of fuel in at the moment, just to make sure I haven't got any leaks. Make sure the float balls aren't stuck. And a quick check for leaks, and it all looks good. So we'll try and start it up. And I did what I hate people doing. I turned the kill switch off. And there we go, one successfully sealed tank. I hope that's of help to you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, drop me a comment if you want to know anything, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching.